A guy said to me, why conquer one world when you can conquer two? So I'm going to go conquer two worlds.
This is the beginning of the McGregor era, and the McGregor era is a record breaker.
This is the biggest fight ever in combat sports history. You got Floyd Mayweather, arguably the greatest of all time, undefeated, 49-0, and you got Conor McGregor, the biggest star in mixed martial arts.
I'm going to knock him out inside 4 rounds, mark my words.
Conor McGregor is not expected to put a dent in Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather's a master of boxing. He's not losing to Conor McGregor.
I can't even see it being a fight.
Is he going to outbox Floyd Mayweather? I doubt it.
But you cannot doubt Conor McGregor's belief.
Conor's special. He throws that left hand with no effort, but boy, when it touches people, they go. It's unbelievable.
Conor McGregor is a UFC featherweight champion!
Wow. I quit doubting this guy a long time ago.
He has, at every turn, talked the talk and then gone into the octagon and walked the walk.
The question is, in a 12-round fight, can he get in and can he connect with Floyd Mayweather?
Everyone from the media to the fighters wrote me off. Every single person doubted me. Oh! But doubt me now.
Again, you know, the kid, he come up and he asked if he'd like to join. He's a good kid, did what he was told, trained very hard, harder than a lot of the other kids. He was a counter fighter. He liked to counter punch, didn't like getting a clatter. He was extra careful of getting a whack, you know what I mean? He'd be cute, you know what I mean? He'd be very cute, orthodox southpaw, because he could switch with his legs, which he's doing now even. He got his boxing ability from here.
Nice.
He punches the way he was taught, properly.
Yes.
And that's probably why he's knocking so many guys out.
Hands in his hips, having a conversation, looking to finish the fight. It is all over, just like that.
Oh, man. Oh, he's done. He's done.
It is all over. Conor McGregor is the UFC lightweight champion.
What a performance.
He was only getting good when he jacked up and he was going to that mixed martial arts stuff, you know, and I didn't like it. I still don't really like it.
The first time he kind of came in the door, you could definitely tell that he had extremely good boxing. He moved like a boxer. He had the boxer's attitude, if you must. Conor used to coach the Tuesday night boxing class. I used to coach a beginner's jiu-jitsu class just before it, so it was always a class that I would get to make, and the level that you would coach at would be phenomenal as well. As you would go through his shots and why them shots would work and how they work and how they work off counters. So it was kind of a little glimpse into like how his brain works. He is thinking about this stuff 24/7.
Yeah, I remember first sparring with Conor and just realising how good he was at, you know, judging distance and slipping shots and landing. I felt firsthand how powerful he was. Like, he hit very, very hard. It wasn't only just the boxing skills; it was his ability to read the fight. You know, that was probably what I was more impressed with.
A potential Mayweather-McGregor mega fight first came to prominence even before the Dubliner was a champion in the UFC. When appearing on the Conan O'Brien show in July 2015 to promote his interim featherweight title fight with Chad Mendes at UFC 189, Conor was asked whether he would fight Mayweather in a boxing match. His response was simple, yet intentionally provocative. The notorious one said, "If you're asking me would I like to fight Floyd Mayweather, I mean, who wouldn't like to dance around the ring for $180 million US?" And with that famous quote, both men have been trading barbs on social media ever since, and we, the public, have been lapping up every word.
I'm looking around, I don't know what anyone else has for me around here. I might have to jump up and drag Floyd Mayweather out of bed and see what the he's at again.
It's the fight to make. It's the fight that people want. I have my eyes on one thing, and that's Floyd Mayweather.
I'm at home enjoying life. I'm retired. I'm enjoying the retired life. He keep barking, keep barking, keep barking. So I'm gonna pull your card and see if you're really real.
I've got the reach. I've got the youth. I've got the confidence. I've got the unpredictable style. You can't prepare for a style like me.
We waiting on you, Conor. What's going on? We waiting to fight. You talking about you want to fight? Let's see if you're really real. Let's make the fight happen. Let's make it happen.
And things really intensified when McGregor walked out fellow Irishman Michael Conlon for his professional boxing debut on March the 17th at Madison Square Garden. It was here where McGregor told the boxing media in attendance that he meant business.
You're the boxing guy. I'm the boxing guy. Watch me take over boxing. Trust me on that. Floyd doesn't not knowing this boxing game knows what's coming. Trust me on that. When I step in there, I'm going to shock the whole goddamn world. Trust me on that. Look me in the eyes. 28 years of age. Confident as a mother. Long, rangy. Dangerous with every hand. Trust me. I'm going to stop Floyd and you're all going to You're all going to eat your words. The whole world is going to eat their words. When's it going to happen? We're getting close. Don't worry about it. You'll hear about it. I'm out here. I am boxing. What they say?
To be here today talking about this fight is crazy. You know, I've been in the fight business for a very long time. This is the biggest fight ever in combat sports history. And this is a fight that the world will be watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending, 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor!
Baby, we did it! He's in a tracksuit. He can't even afford a suit anymore. His little legs, his little core, his little head. I'm gonna knock him out inside 4 rounds, mark my words.
For people who really understand what's going on here and appreciate the mental warfare game, the verbal warfare, this is as much a part of the fight as the fight itself.
You light him up, and I knock him down like bowling pins. And August 26th, I'm gonna knock this bitch out too. Still got 100 million, and then he never touched this.
That's to the tax man.
You right. I'm the IRS, and I'm gonna tax your ass. God don't make mistakes, and God only made one thing perfect, and that's my boxing record. Hey, don't we gotta pose the fighters now, face to face?
Part of the intrigue in this contest is this interesting dynamic between boxing and MMA. Although boxing has a much longer and richer history than MMA, the two codes have crossed on more occasions than people actually realise. The most famous instance involved professional wrestler Antonio Inoki taking on the icon Muhammad Ali in 1976 in Japan. The fight was a farce, however, as Inoki was only allowed to fight off his back, where he spent his time kicking Ali's legs. Ali only threw 6 punches for 15 rounds. Another high-profile farce involved 3-weight boxing world champion James Toney, who talked his way into a fight against UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture at UFC 118.
He's going out. And it's all over! Randy, the natural Couture, has defeated James Toney!
And who can forget Art Jimmerson failing miserably against Hoist Gracie at UFC 1?
Now we're watching Hoist take the mount position.
He just tapped out.
Just tapped out.
Did he? There was not a punch thrown.
That's right.
There was not a punch thrown.
Anybody else on the ground who doesn't know grappling is like a fish out of water.
Despite several debacles, there's been a select few who have successfully competed in both sports, with perhaps the biggest name being none other than the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm. Holm was a multi-weight boxing world title holder, but is arguably better known as the fighter who dethroned long-standing UFC champion Ronda Rousey in devastating fashion.
She's out! Holly looking to finish! Holly! Oh my God!
Mayweather was fighting a guy that's never boxed before. If he didn't win, I'd be surprised, really surprised. But also, I do think that a lot of MMA fighters are a bit harder than boxers are, because a lot of them get kneed in the face, kicked in the face, elbows in the face, you know, so they're probably a bit hardened than boxers in what they can take, maybe. I'm not sure. I've never been in with an MMA fighter, so I don't know. But boxing's boxing. You can never call it. You never know what's going to happen.
A lot of people are complaining, saying it's a mismatch, etc. No one knows what's going to happen in the boxing ring. You know, Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. No one expected that, even though they were both boxers, but no one expected it. There's always a person that is on top and no one expects them to lose. Like, no one in the world expects them to lose. and then they can lose. So that's why it's still entertaining and it's still interesting to watch, because Floyd Mayweather's never fought an MMA fighter. They throw punches different, they're very awkward, even the way, like, his style, like, I've been watching some of his training videos. The things he's doing, you will not see any other boxer doing that kind of thing. So it's interesting. In my opinion, Floyd Mayweather's going to school him and show him about the boxing game, what it's about. Conor McGregor's never been 12 rounds in boxing either. But again, one of the fights you have to just tune in to see.
I'm a Conor McGregor fan. What's there not to like about him? He's charismatic, he's exciting, he can punch. Do you know what I mean? He's good for sport, but they are two different sports. I can't see, when you see Canelo, he couldn't lay a punch on Floyd Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? And De La Hoya, De La Hoya, masterful boxer. Do you know what I mean? And I know, and 100 mile an hour, aggressive as you like, a little bit like Conor, I mean, and he handled me, no problems. And that was my game in fighting, you know what I mean? I can't see how, I can't see how it's, I wouldn't, sorry Conor, I can't even see it being a fight.
Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer, standout boxer of his generation. He keeps himself fit. He's 40 years of age, but he's fit as a butcher's dog. Conor McGregor's the best guy at UFC, so I understand. He's never boxed, has he? He's never been a boxer, so I can't even give you an opinion on it. I don't know whether he can box or he can't. We're going to find out. Is he going to outbox Floyd Mayweather? I doubt it. Can he knock out Floyd Mayweather? He's a good puncher. If he catches him on the chin, maybe he'd do it, but there's been real good quality boxers who've not done that.
How can a fighter who has zero experience in boxing go up against the very best and pretend that maybe he can win? It's almost unheard of. I mean, look, Floyd Mayweather is one of the best boxers in our generation, and for McGregor to think that he can outbox Mayweather is a little delusional.
What's your thoughts on this fight? And obviously, having fought Mayweather, how do you see it going?
No tengo comentarios.
No comments.
I think it's very good for McGregor. This fight very good for McGregor. Good money, no record, nothing. No.
Do you think it's bad for boxing, the fact that a guy that's never fought before?
It's nothing for boxing. For boxing, it's nothing.
From a boxing purist's opinion, I think that there's a degree of divided acceptance. Some people are saying, hey-ho, they're going to make lots of money, and hey-ho, it doesn't hurt anybody. Then other people are saying it's taken an awful lot out of one budget that could be spent on other shows. And a lot of people are saying that really it's a mismatch, and a lot of people are saying Conor McGregor shouldn't have been licensed to fight as a boxer. But what very few people are saying, even the haters are saying reluctantly, they'll still watch it. We have bigger, chaotic, rubbish world title fights where guys that are not even the third best in Britain fight for a world title. That's garbage. We have guys fighting for world heavyweight titles in the last 5 years that I'd never heard of until they were announced as challengers. That's rubbish. Boxing needs to put its house in order in that way before it starts trying to pick holes in what's going to be an international, a global event.
12-time world champion in 5 different weight classes, Floyd Money Mayweather!
Widely regarded as the greatest defensive boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather embodies the main principle of boxing. Hit your opponent and don't get hit back.
But the aim of the sport is to hit and not get hit. He's been the best at it. Floyd Mayweather is a master in boxing. He's not losing to Conor McGregor over 12 rounds.
It's a move style, hasn't he, Mayweather? He's the master at hitting the opponent and not getting hit himself. No one does it better than him.
Mayweather sneaks up right here.
I think McGregor dealing with the speed and the movements, it'll be very, very difficult.
I hope he flattens Mayweather. I do, I honestly do. But I honestly can't see it. I hope that hasn't defended my love for Ireland and my Irish fans, and Conor for that matter. I just think you see him massively, something like that. He's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, one of the greatest all time, and Conor's not had one boxing match yet. Come on.
Punch for punch, Conor hits harder. There's no doubt about it.
Oh! Unbelievable!
Floyd having brittle hands. He's an older man now. You know, we've not seen him legitimately knock somebody out since the Ricky Hatton fight. So punch for punch, when it comes to power, I think McGregor has the advantage, even with the 10-ounce gloves on. They're fairly evenly matched when it comes to physique. Conor's the slightly bigger man, 1 inch height and 2 inches in reach. But Conor, because he's used to cutting down to the weight class and gaining weight afterwards, I would imagine he'll be the more physical human being in there. So if he can work his way into a clinch and kind of muscle Floyd around a little bit, I think he'll prove to be the stronger man.
In a boxing ring, it's quite easy to paint somebody into a corner just using simple side steps, kind of like a windshield wiper. So every time they step, you just cut them off. And because Conor's got such long arms and such a wide guard, he can constantly threaten with that long lead jab and that powerful left hand. Now, when Floyd gets backed up into a corner, a lot of the time he likes to use the shoulder roll position, which is excellent against an orthodox fighter. If I switch to orthodox for a second, whenever I'm throwing my jab, it's going to be parried and rolled off that lead shoulder, which is a really, really good defensive tactic. But when he switches to a southpaw, he effectively creates a pocket here for Conor's left hand to be thrown into, which is what he's got to watch out for. It's going to be difficult to roll the shoulder past the left hand here, and he's going to be exposed to the right hook as he's coming back. Whereas if he stays in this position here, there's a pocket right in there that he's going to parry the punch right into his shoulder. So even if he's not catching it on the chin, it's going to square him up. It's going to push his shoulder back and square his face up. Bang, for a counter left hook, for a counter right hook. That's what he's got to watch out for. So the shoulder roll doesn't work quite as well against a southpaw fighter, which is why we see Floyd switching his stance. He tends to stand a bit wider and lean his right shoulder forward so he can pop that right hand very quickly.
He's got a ridiculously long reach for a lightweight. I mean, at 74, 75 inches, that's a welterweight reach in mixed martial arts. And if you watch McGregor's fights, you'll see he uses that reach to the fullest extent, particularly on his left hand. When he throws that, he throws it very long. So he may be standing slightly outside of Floyd's comfortable punching range and be able to exploit that extra 2 inches of reach.
Looking to finish the fight. It is all over, just like that.
So as you see with McGregor, he's got quite a wide stance. He's got quite a wide guard, a very confident guard, because he used a lot of head movement instead of his guard, which is what Mayweather's going to be doing. So what I would expect Conor to do, use that extra couple of inches of reach and keep kind of feeling him out with the jab, but then start powering stuff through to the body, the midsection. Start bringing Floyd's hands down, which means he can then start to go high afterwards.
I think one of the most important things to address going into this fight is the gloves. I mean, they're not using the 4-ounce UFC gloves that Conor's used to fighting in, which my boxing coach calls them sleeping pills, because you know they're so much tighter on your fist. They hit with so much force because there's less padding to be absorbed, that the power's not spread across the glove. Whereas if you look at a 10-ounce glove, not only is the power dispersed across the surface of the glove when it makes contact, but you've got to think from a defensive position as well, especially if you're Floyd Mayweather. You know, there's a lot there you can use. You can build a shield with a glove, you can hide behind it. It becomes a part of his defense as well.
Let me give you an idea of what Conor's going to be looking at. Now, with Floyd, he has two different stances that he likes to use. If he's pushing forward, he looks through his gloves. But you can see this is a massive shield, a big wall that he's using to hide behind. And a lot of the time, he can cover most of his face and his body by just using these gloves. The shoulder roll is something that he uses a lot, which he uses the lead shoulder to guard one side of his chin, and then the backhand to guard the other. And this allows him to counter very, very quickly when somebody's committing to their own punches. But you can see behind boxing gloves, there's a lot to hide behind. There's a lot of padding there, which Floyd can use to cover himself and use to obscure those targets that Conor's looking for. So this is what Conor's used to fighting in. Now you can see already that there are a lot smaller the boxing gloves. Even if I put my boxing guard up, there are so many more targets that can be hit. You can see more of me as a target. So it's difficult to use these for defense. You have to rely much more on catching the punches with your hands and getting your head out of the way using your reaction time. So against Floyd, I don't expect him to change that too much. I would imagine he'll draw the guard in a little bit, but the reason why Conor's so effective in mixed martial arts, and because he's got such a signature style, he has this really wide guard, which is as tactical as it is bravado, honestly. Like, he stands in this position here, but because he creates such a wide guard, anything that's coming on the periphery, he can block with his hands. And he's also quick enough to cover anything that's coming down the center. But the difference with mixed martial arts is the range. I'm standing in mixed martial arts range right now, and now I'm standing in boxing range. In boxing range, you're much more available to be punched, which means that you have to rely on the gloves a little more. Whereas in MMA, we stand slightly further back because of the kicking range, so you can rely on your reaction time a bit more. But one thing I will say, using these gloves and fighting MMA range, Conor's going to be excellent at covering distance and landing that big, powerful left hand that we've seen him use a lot before.
Mayweather should win the bout through hitting and moving. What he always does, he's done that against world-class fighters before, and I see no reason why he won't do it again.
You know, they're both going to get extremely well paid, but there's only ever going to be one winner there, and that's a guarantee.
My prediction for the fight is simple. Floyd, Floyd and Floyd. I'd be stunned if Floyd gets hit more than half a dozen times. It's all Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather has never met a man like Conor McGregor. Conor's a master commander at psychological warfare. He's kind of stood in these shoes before against an invincible legend.
Where's Jose? He's not even here. Rumor has it he fled the country. I am his daddy. Look into my eyes, little man. Ooh, vamos here.
2 years ago, I was facing the then pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet, Jose Aldo. They said the same things then as they're saying now. They said I had no chance. They said I'm in over my head. They said he kicks too hard. Too many weapons. The Irishman's gonna fall short. He doesn't stand a hope. It took me 13 seconds.
You don't know what to expect from Conor, and I believe and I know that he's training like a crazy, like a beast, and I believe we are going to see a very special, very different Conor McGregor.
He's always aggressive. He goes right for them. For the first time in a very, very long time, Money Mayweather is going to be in a real fight.
I see Conor knocking Mayweather out. I see him figuring him out in a couple of rounds and landing that big shot. And when Conor lands on anybody, they fall over. And that's what's gonna happen again.
You have two great characters. They are both marketing geniuses at hyping up fights, at generating energy around contests.
You're 40 years of age. Dress your age. Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
The purists may not like it, but the casual fans will flock to this fight in their numbers. It could break all pay-per-view records. Floyd Mayweather is brilliantly defensive. He has fantastic footwork, major reflexes, but there are still X factors about Conor McGregor that you cannot deny. He has, at every turn, talked the talk and then gone into the octagon and walked the walk. Can he do this in a boxing ring? That's the big question here. Can he do it against the defensive master of this era?
Conor can win this fight. You know, Conor's all about breaking new ground. He's all about surprising people. He said a long time ago that this was the fight that he wanted. He wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. No one thought it was going to happen. This is where entertainment meets boxing. And they are not only two of the best fighters in the world, but they're two of the best entertainers as well. And Conor thrives in those kind of situations. He thrives in the trash talk.
1, 2, 3, the Mayweathers!
Floyd's not only representing his own brand and his own legacy, but he's representing the sport of boxing. Mayweather is nothing without his ego, and his whole ego is based on his perceived persona in the boxing world, which can be destroyed in a second with one big left hand.